6,200-pound pro stock four-wheel drive pickups. 16 four-wheel drive pickups lined up to do battle here. We're going to start off with Jeremy Stevens, a truck called the Irritator. Will be our first hook. 6,200-pound pickups, four-wheel drive, DOT street tires. No pulling tires allowed on these trucks. Must be tires just like they were meant to be driven down the highway. You might find tires on these trucks that are just like the ones on your pickup you drive to work every day. 33 inches tall, 12.5 inches wide, the maximum size on these tires. A V8 engine, V8s in this class, only single carburetor, 485 cubic inch limit. They run on gasoline, racing gasoline. Chevrolet truck right here, Jeremy Stevens and the Irritator out of Beatrice, Nebraska. Jeremy Stevens, his GMC out of Beatrice, Nebraska. Goes 248.2. Being the first puller, he does have the option. Get that in just a moment, whether he wants to keep it or not. Getting wound up here in Lincoln. Big class of pro stock four-wheel drive trucks. .485 cubic inch limit, cast iron block, aluminum heads are permitted in the class. Must be a 2-valve type head. No Hemi heads permitted in the class. DOT tires, and the engine must match the sheet metal and chassis. If it's a Chevrolet truck, it's got to have a Chevrolet engine. Dodge truck, Dodge engine, etc. Wheelbase on these pro stock four-wheel drives will be that equal to a regular cab pickup with a long bed. Entries in this pro stock four-wheel drive class. Chevrolet having the most entries in the class. Ford with almost as much, but one Dodge, one lonely Mopar in the class. Like to see it get mixed up in this class with all the different manufacturers. Like to get Dodge in there. Love to see a few more, but at least we've got one here tonight in Lincoln. Dave Winsky out of Nebraska, pulling the lone Mopar in the class. Right now it's Ford time. Gentleman out of Wisconsin, Jeremy Ham out of Platteville, Wisconsin, 86 Ford Ranger. Big block Ford called the Tick. The 2017 points champion with the fantasy truck pullers. Here we go, something for the Ford fans out there. Jeremy Ham and a Tick. Jeremy Ham leaning on that big block Ford engine. So the Ford Ranger out of Wisconsin moves into the lead with that pass, 253.47 feet. Jeremy Ham, your new leader. This Pro Stock 4-wheel drive division brought to you by Wicks Trucks, parts sales service, body, and detail shop. Out of Omaha, Nebraska, this class brought to you by Wicks Trucks. So Chevrolet led us off. Jeremy Ham comes out, and best the mark set by Jeremy Stevens. So the Tick out of Wisconsin, your new leader. Next puller will be Troy Stevens out of Beatrice, Nebraska. A 98 Chevrolet called the Bow Tie Affair. Troy would like to thank the sponsors Jet Racing, Schmidt Machine, Blue Valley Door, and Extreme Race Signs. These Pro Stock 4-wheel drive pickups will turn some amazing RPM. These engines all range somewhere in the neighborhood of 480 to 485, 485 cubic inch being the maximum limit allowed in the class. So all these engines somewhere in that range, right up to 485 cubic inch. These engines will turn on some of these trucks 10,000 revolutions per minute. When you break that down, folks, those of you that know me know I like to break it down. 10,000 revolutions per minute is equal to 167 revolutions per second of crankshaft revolutions. So Jeremy Stevens, Chevrolet time out of Beatrice, Nebraska, Bow Tie Affair. Jeremy Stevens going after that Ford out of Wisconsin, trying to put Nebraska in the lead. All right, Chevrolet people, make some noise at home. Troy Stevens moves into the lead. 255.25 feet, the Bow Tie Affair, your new leader. So Chevrolet moves into the lead. The truck out of Beatrice, Nebraska. The official word is we're going to reset the sled. A lot of times, these four-wheel drive pickups, the track will only get better. The more trucks that go down the track, they'll build a road, if you will. The track will get better as the class goes on. Not always the case, but more often than not, a later hook is better in this class. The concern with the track crew is that the track is going to continue to get better, and we're going to put some of these four-wheel drive trucks in the sand pile. Not normally an issue with with most classes, but these four-wheel drive pickups have the weight rack sitting so low in the front, the tires won't necessarily make contact with the beach first. The weight racks will, then the sled tends to coast into the back of these trucks with the momentum built up. Then we've got some damage to some really nice, really high-priced equipment. So I believe we are starting the class over right now with this truck. So officially, Keith Hammonds is going to be the first puller in the class. 72 Chevrolet out of Unionville, Missouri. 2017 Outlaw Pro Stock 4-wheel drive champion. The bipolar Chevrolet. 253.82 for Keith Hammonds. He is the first puller in the class officially as we have reset the sled before the bipolar Chevrolet made his hook. Keith Hammonds out of Unionville, Missouri. 2017 Outlaw Truck and Tractor Pullers Points Champion, and 2015 and 16 Lucas Oil Western Series Points Champion. Was the first puller in the class with that pass on the bipolar Chevrolet. This 6,200-pound Pro Stock 4-wheel drive class brought to you by Wicks Trucks out of Omaha, Nebraska. Exclusive Western Star truck dealer. Parts, sales, service, body, and detail shop. Wicks Trucks out of Omaha. Check them out at wickstrucks.com. So Keith Hammonds leads us off at 253.82 feet with the bipolar Chevrolet. Derek Brown out of Seneca, Missouri coming up next on an 07 Chevy. Derek's a landscaper out of Seneca, Missouri. Derek's been pulling for over 16 years. Calls his truck hauling grass. Talking about RPM, engine RPM on these Pro Stock 4-wheel drives a few moments ago. Some of these trucks turning 10,000 RPM, 167 revolutions per second. You think about how much these engines cost, the parts inside these engines. You start dropping numbers like 167 revolutions per second. It makes sense to only put the best equipment that you can inside these engines so they'll hang together. So 167 revolutions per second. Let's put the valve train in perspective here. That's 83 times per second the intake and exhaust valves will open and close. Got to have good springs in there. Derek Brown out of Seneca, Missouri, hauling grass. Derek Brown smoking the front tires at the end of that pass. goes 246.38 feet. So going back to what I was saying, as Derek Brown was getting launched there on his pass with the Holland Grass Chevrolet. Going back to 10,000 RPM. Very important to have really good quality valve springs in the valve trains of these big block V8s. At 10,000 RPM, the intake and exhaust valves are opening and closing 83 times per second. Think about that, it almost seems impossible that the spring could close those valves 83 times each second. Definitely pays to have a good engine builder and the best quality parts you can put inside these engines. They are pushing them to the absolute limits. We've got trucks from all over the Midwest here in this Pro Stock class. Missouri, Kansas, Nebraska, Iowa, Wisconsin, Illinois, all represented here in this Pro Stock four-wheel drive division. As we bring up a Ford pickup, Nick Skelton out of Woodstock, Illinois. Nick's a lineman. 79 Ford F350, calls it the Bone Shaker. You're just tuning in to FullPull.tv. We're just a couple trucks into this 6,200-pound Pro Stock four-wheel drive division. Got a couple of Chevrolets down the track right now. The leader, Keith Hammonds, the bipolar Chevy at 253.82 feet. Product of the Ford Motor Company at the line right now. Nick Skelton, Woodstock, Illinois. 79 Ford, called the Bone Shaker. These four-wheel drive pickups run a 26-inch hitch height. Tires on these trucks, you'll see several different combinations. Sometimes they'll run a different type of tire on the front as they do the back. Nick Skelton, Bone Shaker Ford. $238.5, 238.5 for Nick Skelton in the Bone Shaker Ford. These Pro Stock four-wheel drive pickups, the 26-inch hitch height provides plenty of downforce from the sled to plant those rear tires. So the challenge is to make the rear of these trucks as light as possible so you can replace that weight on the front. The big weight rack out front, those weight racks can't extend any farther than 60 inches from the center of the front wheels. So the center line of the front axle forward, the weight rack can extend only 5 feet. The key is to put as much weight as you can out there on the front, make the rear of the truck as light as possible. 6,200 pounds with the driver in the seat. Pro Stock four-wheel drive. Sapp Brothers Petroleum, responsibly providing energy solutions to America's heartland. Golden Harvest Seed. Golden Harvest gives you cutting-edge technology helping you win on the track or in the field. Golden Harvest outperforms the competition. Adam Wilmus coming up next out of Gower, Missouri. 98 Chevrolet. Adam owns a trucking company out of Gower, Missouri. 2015 Northwest Missouri points champion. He took second place last year at this very event, 2017 Cornhusker Classic. Second place here in Lincoln last year. This truck also took second at the Missouri State Fair truck pull last year as well. So strong running truck out of Gower, Missouri. '98 Chevy big block Chevrolet under the hood, calls it Hog Wild. .253.82, the mark to beat. Adam Wilmus. All right. He got out of the throttle before the 100-foot mark, so he could take that option of re-pulling. If you don't pull past that 100-foot mark, we'll give you one more shot. And I will tell you, sitting where Adam is sitting right now, when you're behind the wheel of one of these trucks, it does not feel natural to completely let off the throttle when you're trying to get that sled down the track. So it just shows some experience there from Adam Wilmus to do the right thing, get out of the throttle. He didn't feel it, didn't think he was going to get on top of it. Hey, give it up before the 100-foot mark. We'll pull you back. We'll give you one more shot, a do-over, if you will. Every puller has that right to use that 100-foot rule. Track crew just going to quickly groom the track there where Adam pulled out there just short of the 100-foot mark. Keith Hammonds in the bipolar Chevy, currently in the lead at 253.82. Adam Wilmus out of Gower, Missouri, the Hog Wild Chevrolet. Adam Wilmus may have been a little too much gear here in Lincoln as he's going to pull up short. .214.33 feet for Adam Wilmus out of Gower, Missouri. Track crew here tonight equipped with Stop Fire fire extinguishers. Stop Fire, the world's best fire extinguisher, made by AKE. Stop Fire fire extinguishers made with a proprietary blend of fire suppression gases that not only puts out the fire but prevents reignition and leaves zero corrosive mess behind. So put the fire out, leave zero mess. No corrosive properties in the Stop Fire fire extinguishers. They have a 100% lifetime guarantee. No hassle, lifetime guarantee. They're made right here in the United States. Check it out. Log on to ake.com. Get your very own Stop Fire fire extinguishers used exclusively by the track crew here tonight in Lincoln and by the Nebraska Bush Pullers. Stop Fire fire extinguishers, ake.com. Larry Codwalder coming up next. The Junkyard Pup out of St. Joe, Missouri. 2000 Chevrolet S10. Larry's a shop owner there in St. Joe. 4 straight years as Northwest Missouri Tractor Pullers Association points champion. That's quite an accomplishment to be the points champ 4 years straight. Tough task to do. Big Block Chevrolet, Larry Codwalder, the Junkyard Pup. Larry Codwalder pulls out to 245.47 feet. 253.82, still the mark to beat. Keith Hammonds, the bipolar Chevy, still your leader at this point. As Larry Codwalder gave it a go with the Junkyard Pup, and he's going to come up short. Six states represented here in this Pro Stock 4-wheel drive division. 6 states: Illinois, Wisconsin, Nebraska, Kansas, Iowa, and Missouri. Missouri hanging on to the lead right now. Keith Hammonds still leading the pack with another Missouri entrant coming right now, Mike McCoy. Mike's out of Archie, Missouri. 79 Ford pickup called the Red Cloud. Mike was a Pro Stock 4-wheel drive champion in 2002 and 2004. Was a Missouri State Tractor Pullers Association club president for 12 years. Mike told me earlier he set the chip in this truck at 9,900 RPMs. That'd be the rev limiter chip in the electronic ignition. Will protect that truck from going any higher than 9,900 RPM, but he said he may bounce off that rev limiter here tonight. So a lot of RPM, big block Ford, built by Brett Powell Engines in Iberia, Missouri. Mike McCoy to Red Cloud. Mike McCoy making that big block Ford sing. Pulls out to 240.96 feet. 240.96 for the Red Cloud Ford out of Archie, Missouri. The arena announcer here referring to the name on Mike McCoy's Ford pickup, Red Cloud, named after a Sioux Indian chief. Red Cloud. So Chevrolet still in the lead. Keith Hammonds at Bipolar Chevy's distance of 253.82. Still the mark to beat. Got a truck coming out of the state of Iowa right now. Rick Bloom. 87 K30 Chevrolet pickup. Rick works in the fertilizer department for New Co-op in Ute, Iowa. Rick's married to wife Judy, got 2 boys and 9 grandchildren. Rick was a 1979 Iowa State champion in the Pro Stock 4-wheel drive division in 2 weight classes, 5,800 pound and 6,200 pound, and the APA champion for 2 years. Rick's been pulling since 1975. Good looking Chevrolet pickup. Saw this one back in the pit area earlier this afternoon. Folks, if you make your way here to Lincoln to the Cornhusker Classic, one neat feature of this event, they will allow you to walk through the indoor pit area and meet the drivers and see all these beautiful machines lined up in the indoor pits. Quite a sight to see all these tractors and trucks lined up back here. Rick Bloom, truck simply called Bloom. Got his work cut out for him here. The Bipolar Chevy in the lead at 253.82. 87 Chevrolet, big block Chevy under the hood. Coming after him right now. 237.28 feet, 237.28 for the Chevrolet out of Iowa. Got a truck coming out of the state of Missouri. Coming up next, Jerry Wallander. Truck owned by Kyle McCullough. The Shock and All Chevrolet out of Garden City, Missouri. He's coming up next. He pulls primarily with the Missouri State Tractor Pullers Association. Jerry Wallander out of Garden City, Missouri. Engine builder out of the state of Kansas. Driscoll Racing Engines out of Wellsville, Kansas. Matt Driscoll of Driscoll Racing Engines. Built a lot of these Pro Stock 4-wheel drive power plants. Jerry Wallander, 1974 Chevrolet. Out now the show me state. This truck will turn it on. He will turn some RPM. He'll be right there in that 10,000 RPM range. Shock and all Chevrolet. Shock and all Chevrolet. Jerry Wallander flirting with that 250 mark. Going to come up just short of it at 248.93 feet. That is your number 2 truck. At this point in the class, several more heavy hitters to go, but Jerry Wallander. Keith Hammond still safe at the moment, 253.82. Jerry Wallander just gave it a whirl, come up short, moves into the number 2 spot at 248.93. That truck finished 4th overall with the Missouri State Tractor Pullers Association in 2017. All top equipment here tonight, no slouches in the group. Watching the replay in slow-mo, Jerry Wallander as he leaves the line. Slipping the clutch, but getting out of it pretty quick. Short track here at about 250, 260 plus. Can't roll the sled out and slip the clutch too far. They got to get in there and get things done in a hurry. Good pull for Jerry Wallander. Just a little off the mark. Chan Stowell out of Vermillion, Kansas. Is an insurance agent with Farm Bureau. Calls his truck high deductible 72 Chevrolet. Cheyenne. He's a farmer, a Farm Bureau insurance agent. 2014 Kansas Points Sweep Champion with the NK Pullers. Chan Stowell had a little bit of a miss. That truck was not 100%. .47 feet. Truck was missing out, never cleaned up. Sounded like it was going to about mid-track, and the miss came back as that X-Factor sled started lowering the boom on him. So 236.47 feet for Chan Stowell out of Vermillion, Kansas. Watching Chan Stowell's run, some coolant coming out of the overflow there towards the end of the track. He's got a lot of heat built in that big block Chevrolet. Chevrolet pickup backing up to the line right now. Brian Viscasil out of New Virginia, Iowa. Truck called the Chain Stretcher. 69 Chevrolet. Describes his occupation as a heavy haul cowboy driver. Brian Viscasil. Truck owned by Toby Vanderpool, New Virginia, Iowa, Chain Stretcher Chevrolet. $232.61 feet for the Chain Stretcher Chevrolet. These four-wheel drive truck pullers in this Pro Stock division, they'll come out shortly before the pull starts and shortly before their class starts a lot of times, and they'll go out and inspect that track side to side, end to end, over and over. They'll use a screwdriver. Some of them have a special tool where they don't have to bend over and use a screwdriver to test the dirt out there. They're trying to pick the best line where they think they'll get the most bite, the most traction to get them down the track and win the pull. Brian Viscasil going to come up short at 232.61. As we are approximately 10 trucks in, 6 trucks to go in the class. For the most part, this four-wheel drive truck class, very few come up the center. Most of them hang into that left side, especially at the end of the track. They're starting in the center. Not sure if they're getting pulled to the left side, if that's actually part of their strategy. But they all seem to be ending up on the far left side of the track as they get down here around the 250-foot mark. A little something for the Dodge people. The lone Mopar in the class. We got a whole mess of Chevrolets, a whole bunch of Fords, and one lonely Dodge in the group. A gentleman named Dave Winsky. The big red express truck, 75 Dodge W300, 1-ton. Dave's a farmer out of Byron, Nebraska, 8-time points champ, and 2 Nebraska Pulling Association championships. Big block Chrysler under the hood, the big red express truck, Dave Winsky out of Byron, Nebraska. Dave Winsky of the Big Red Express going to end up at 239.92 feet. That Mopar Big Block was not happy with something in the air here in Lincoln that never seemed to get fully cleaned up. Had a little bit of a miss to it. Still a good run overall at 239.92. For Dave Winsky. Coming up next, 1985 Chevrolet. Sean Shilp, an electrician out of Henley, Missouri. Sean in the Fool's Fortune Chevrolet pickup was the MMTPA, Mid-Missouri Truck and Tractor Pullers Association Pro Stock Champion in 2008. Missouri State Tractor Pullers Association Pro Stock Champion in 2008 as well. And a State Fair Champion in 2008. 2008 is a good year for Sean Shilp in the Fool's Fortune Chevrolet.
Walked up here and said, now somebody parked their Dodge back there. It's got a Cummins, so it's at least
This Pro Stock four-wheel drive division sponsored by Wicks Trucks out of Omaha, your Western Star truck dealer. Check them out at wickstrucks.com. We're ready to turn and burn here in Lincoln. Sean Shilp out of Henley, Missouri, the Fool's Fortune Chevrolet. Sean Shilp definitely had the low gear setup in the Fool's Fortune Chevrolet. He backpedaled the truck several times at the starting line trying to get the tires to hook up. Feathering that throttle. Backpedaling several times, trying to get the tires to hook up. I think it was more of an issue of gearing than it was traction, as Sean Shilp was making that big block Chevrolet sing as he pulls out to 233.37 feet. Next puller coming up. Eric Falk out of Springfield, Nebraska, 85 Chevrolet, called the Nantucket Sleigh Ride. 2017 Nebraska Bush Points Champion, as well as the 2017 Cornhusker Classic Champion. This guy won this class last year right here in this building. 2016 second place points winner for the Bush Pullers. 2015 Nebraska Power Pullers champion. This truck will turn it up. Brand new engine in this pickup. Said he's making about 400 more horsepower than he did when he won this class a year ago. Big Block Chevrolet said he will turn it 10,000 RPM. Eric Falk out of Springfield, Nebraska. The Nantucket Sleigh Ride. 245.89 feet for Eric Falk, the Nantucket sleigh ride, as he was spinning that big block Chevrolet. Said he'll turn it 10 grand. I think he hit the rev limiter 2 or 3 times on that pass. Wow. Good pass for Eric Falk, just not good enough to get it done here, as Keith Hammond in bipolar dodges a bullet with that pass. The 2017 Cornhusker Classic champion, Eric Falk. Got a correction on Brian Biscosil out of New Virginia, Iowa, describing his occupation. I described him as a heavy haul cowboy driver. As a low boy driver. Thanks for the correction on that. Cowboy, low boy, what's the difference? Same thing, right? Watching Eric Falk's run. Good hook, the front tires throwing a lot of dirt. Just not enough to get it done. Tons of horsepower. Just couldn't get good enough a hook, get enough momentum down the track to get out there where he needed to be to take over the lead. So back to the top of the lineup here. The first couple of drivers in the class had pulled before we changed the sled setting. So we'll see those 2 trucks come back here as Jeremy Stevens out of Beatrice, Nebraska. GMC Big Block Chevrolet. .97 feet for Jeremy Stevens. Truck called the Irritator out of Beatrice, Nebraska. We've got 2 trucks to go. 2 trucks. Jeremy Ham coming up next with the Tick, and Troy Stevens. So a couple more trucks to go in this Pro Stock 4-wheel drive class. And we will wrap up the afternoon session, session 3 here at the 2018 Cornhusker Classic. We'll immediately start preparing for the night session, 7 p.m. tonight, 5 classes tonight here at the Cornhusker Classic. So if you're tuned in right now to fullpull.tv, come back, log in before 7 p.m. tonight. 6,500-pound unlimited super stock tractors. We've got some killer unlimited supers, the alcohol super stock tractors at 7 p.m. tonight. 8,500-pound limited pro stock finals tonight. 8,000-pound diesel 4-wheel drive pickups. Don't want to miss that. The 4-1s, the 9,500-pound limited pro stock tractors, got some serious equipment back here in the pit area. And in the night, we'll have the Champion Seed Western Series super modified 2-wheel drive pickups. The wheel standers will close the show here at the 2018 Cornhusker Classic. Next puller, Jeremy Ham out of the state of Wisconsin. 86 Ford Ranger, big block Ford under the hood. EX514 aftermarket cast iron big block Ford heads on that big block Ford. 2017 points champion with the Fantasy Truck Pullers, Jeremy Ham and the Tick. .8, excellent pass for Jeremy Ham and the Tick. At this point, that pass for Jeremy Ham looks to be good enough for the number 3 spot with 1 truck to go in this Pro Stock class. Watching the instant replay, Jeremy Ham, like most in the class, hanging far, far left, heading that direction about mid-track. They're starting out in the middle of the track. They're all kind of drifting left. Truck was bouncing, had some front end hop early on in the pass. Front end continued to bounce, clear out past 100 foot. Might have actually cost him the run just by not keeping those front tires planted as that front end hop develops again at the end of the pass. Jeremy Ham and the Tick, nevertheless, a good pass. Currently in the number 3 spot with 1 truck to go.
That was him last time.
So last puller of this afternoon session here at the 2018 Cornhusker Classic, Troy Stevens out of Beatrice, Nebraska. 1998 Chevrolet, calls it the bow tie affair. Got to beat 253.82 to win the class. .78 feet, 246.78. So Keith Hammonds, the bipolar Chevrolet, going to escape out of here with a win with the bipolar Chevrolet. We'll give you the rundown of the class here in just a moment. Watching the replay here, Troy Stevens. The bow tie affair. Nice transition out of the hole. Very little bounce as he comes fully off the clutch. Takes it down the left sideline. Ends up at 246.78 feet for Troy Stevens in the bow tie affair Chevrolet. A brief rundown of this Pro Stock 4-wheel drive division. The 5th spot going to go to last year's champion Eric Falk and the Nantucket Sleigh Ride Chevrolet. The 4th spot going to go to Derek Brown out of the state of Missouri with the Holland Grass Chevrolet. Coming in 3rd tonight out of the state of Wisconsin, Jeremy Ham. The Tick, the Ford Ranger out of Wisconsin. Coming in 2nd, Jerry Wallander out of the state of Missouri. The Shock and All Chevrolet hangs on for 2nd place. And 1st place, Keith Hammonds out of the state of Missouri with the Bipolar Chevrolet. So that's going to do it for us here in Lincoln with Full Pull TV here at the Lancaster Event Center. Session 3 is in the books. Stay tuned here tonight, 7 p.m. We're going to go live again for the 4th and final session. 5 classes of action tonight. Lots of good iron to go here in Lincoln, Nebraska. So tune back in, 7 p.m. here tonight. We're going to go live. Don't miss it. FullPull.tv. Mark your calendar for the 2018 Rumble by the Refuge Truck and Tractor Pull, June 22nd and 23rd at 6:30 p.m. 2 days, 2 tracks, 1 huge event.